I believe I'm live again. Oh, what is going on, YouTube? I believe I'm live, but you're telling me I'm not. Oh, right. Okay. So we've got quite a huge amount of latency. Right. Okay. But I'm back live again. So I need that. I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to leave that where it is. I'm back normal. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Sarah, my love. Let me just click on the on-screen chat and bring that in with that one. Yay! Flaming Nora. Flaming Nora. What was that about? I've never had that happen before. That was extremely odd. Holland, I could see it from my end on the channel and on the, you know, like the YouTube back end. Hello, Crystal Rose. Crystal Rose, don't go anywhere, Crystal Rose. Do me a favour. Beyond Authentic Tarot or Beyond or send me your address. I need your address. For the last couple of streams I've been saying I need to get Crystal Rose's address because I don't know whether he sent me it. I've lost it. I've got your package ready to send. Melinda, yours is going out tomorrow as well. So Crystal Rose, I know Melinda, it took me ages to find a smaller box. But Crystal Rose, send me your address and I can get that out to you. Right. Okay. Hashtag tarot reading. I don't think these are going to make any difference now. Hashtag tarot. Hashtag tarot. Hashtag tarot. Why have I got a heart in the middle of everything? Do you know, it's not easy doing this live. You know that. Do you know that? I don't know what that was about, though. I have never seen YouTube distort like that. There's no filters on. There was nothing on. I've got no idea why that was a thing. Hashtag. There's a hashtag called Authentic Tarot. Oh, it might just be. Oh no, 10 channels. Okay, I will happily join that hashtag. Oh my gosh. There we go. Get rid of that one. Do that. Right. Save. Oh, my lordy, 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 looks a mercy. Right, we're back. Everything's back. Everything's fine. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening to Crystal Rose. Good evening to Holland. Good evening to Aquilarius. Good evening to Sarah. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. You sent it on Instagram, did you? Yes, please send it again, Crystal Rose. Please send it again. Hi, Melinda. It's really weird because some people were getting me like this. Some people were getting me like, hello. I broke things. I broke things. I kind of broke things. Okay, Lisa, don't do that again. I broke things. I did break things. Oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? I have become, what is it? I have become, I'm not going to quote Oppenheimer because it's not that serious, but you know. Oh, Lord. Lord's a mercy. See what happens? I get all excited for 2 seconds and my poor brain breaks things. It looked like I was in a fishbowl. Didn't it just? I could see it from my end and I was like, I've got no idea what's happening. I know there are filters on all the way down here. Hello. I know there are filters on YouTube. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to, if that's going to be like that, I'm going to leave it be and I will come into this bit of the software and I'll adjust it electronically. Like that. But yes, I've got no idea what that was. I do know YouTube has some filters for live streams because Amberlyn Reed, the larger than life YouTuber has it. But I've got no idea. I've got no idea how you turn them on or anything. It's not an automatic feature, I don't think. So I've got no idea what that was. But anyway, good evening, everyone. I hope you are all well this evening. It's still distorted on the telly, is it? Wow. I know. Happy birthday for Dormouse for tomorrow, everybody. Let's do this.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday for Dormouse. Big round of applause. 60 years of age tomorrow, Dormouse. Have a wonderful, wonderful birthday tomorrow. I hope Grumpy is going to be spoiling you. I hope you get to go out to lunch, breakfast and dinner, and have a lovely, 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 lovely day. I really do. Happy, yes, happy birthday. Yes, that's actual words in the English language. That is well done, Lisa. It's well done, Lisa. You're doing really well with the speaking thing today. That's well done, you. Yes, give yourself a pat on the head. Yes, well done. Happy bum day. Yes, that very, very, very well known saying. So I hope everybody is doing all right. Yes, thank you, Crystal Rose. Send me it. I just. Apologies. Honestly, apologies. If anyone's worried or concerned, don't worry, because with the Witches Road stuff, Rufus actually helps me out with that. Also, Holland, I send huge apologies for the fuck up this week. I am going to reorder whatever's available, and I will sort that out off screen, if that makes sense. I will sort that out later. But thank you for being here, everyone. We are doing some streaming today of some tarot readings. Hopefully we're not going to have any issues. We did a lovely members only just now, which was really cool. Rufus joined us in it. We had a lovely old chat. It was really good, actually. I really enjoy our members only chats. And I think moving forward that I'm going to be reducing the fee for the members only down to £2.99 in Great British Pounds. I will try and remember to change that over tonight. And so I think that means that people that are on the highest one, I will just incorporate everything into one at the $2.99 rate moving forward. So yay. We're still doing 10% of everything that we make on the channel goes to the PDSA, which is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals here in the UK. It's a hospital charity for poorly animals. So people that have animals that are poorly, that need vet care, it helps fund that vet care. They also do things like take in strays and things like that, you know, poorly animals that would otherwise be put to sleep. And we're also, once YouTube takes its cut as well, we also give 10% of whatever's left to a local homeless shelter called St George's Crypt. So yay, we do that as well. So hopefully that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. So you know what I'm trying to say. So that's where the money goes. Everything else goes back into the channel, and it goes to things like paying for the second new camera of this year. I know, right? And the microphones and everything else. So that's where all the money goes to, and the software that we use. Anyway, all of that being said, welcome to Beyond Authentic. We're going to crack on with some tarot readings. My goal each Tuesday evening and Sunday evening when we go live, my goal is to spend no more than 5 minutes on the, or sorry, no more than 15 minutes on the intro, the start bit, and all of that. It's 26 minutes past. We were 10 minutes late starting, and then when we did start, the stream was very, very confused. So yeah, already that doesn't bode well, does it? But anyway, it will be good for the rest of the evening, I promise you. So if you would like a tarot reading, how would you go about getting a tarot reading on this channel? Well, it's dead simple. You can do the things just down below. Look, these are the rules, by the way, the housekeeping rules. But if you want a reading, there are two ways. The first way is to go ahead and send your request when I open a round. I'll be doing that incredibly soon. The other way is to send it through as a super chat. You can send a super chat at any time during tonight's stream. That will come through, and automatically that will get you the next available reading slots. If I get 2 or more super chats come in at the same sort of time, I will read them in the order they come in. So basically, if one comes in for $5 and one comes in for $50, they both get read in the order they come in. There isn't a hierarchy of I go through the ones in red first or any of that. The way to send a super chat is on the live stream. You know where you put your comments. Next to it, there will be a little button. Looks like a pile of cash, a wad of cash, or a banknote of some sort. If you click that, you can send a super chat. You can send super thanks, I think they're called. You can send stickers. I don't know what else you can. Oh, and you can join the membership all through that one little button there. I think it comes up with all those options. And apart from all of that, we do have, as I was about to say, we do have some rules on the channel. The rules are very simple. Okay, it's less rules and more sort of guidance. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or any time in the future. Absolutely, please don't dox yourself on the interwebs. I have been known to do that occasionally, where accidentally I forget that I'm on a live stream to the internet, to the whole of the internet, the big wide world internet out there, which is not always your friend. However, we've got a really friendly group here on this corner of the internet. We have a wonderful group of moderators who allow me to do this. They are the most bonkers group of people you are ever likely to meet. Our moderators come on every live stream and they help out, they help the channel out absolutely for free. They are all incredible people. We also got a group of members who are also incredible people who help me maintain the channel and help the channel tick over. And of course, we've also got a big bunch of regular subscribers who come in all the time. And I am very grateful for all of our regulars here as well. So whether you are a brand new person on the channel, whether you are a regular, a mod, or a member, I just want to say a huge thank you. I have been going through some issues with this little channel of ours and feeling a lot of things about the fact that we are a very small channel on the interwebs, and sometimes that's very hard to deal with, and sometimes it's a very good way of dealing with things. But you know, sometimes I get in my head about things, but the members are all amazing, and so are the mods. So then, thank you. Let's crack on. So how do you know that a reading round has started? Isn't that no, that's Reading Rainbow, isn't it? That LeVar Burton used to do. Wasn't that reading like books to children or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let's tell you. So all you need to do is listen out for this. When you hear that, it means that a round, a round is open. At that point, it is your chance to get your question in. How do you get your question in? Well, it's dead simple. You put your question in the live chat, starting with the word question. That will automatically get put into a hat. That hat or that tub, one of our lovely moderators will choose who gets the reading on a randomized basis. So it's beyond my control. I have no say in it. It literally comes up on a randomized basis. At that point, that person gets the reading. If you want to guarantee that you get a reading, you know what you need to do. Send it through as a super chat, any amount at all that gets you the next slot. If you send it through as £8 or $10 US or above, that will guarantee you not just the next slot, but a longer reading as well. All of that being said, let's go for, I think tonight we're going to start with a waterfall. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Absolutely. And if you don't know by now, the moderators have their names in blue, and there is a little cartoon wrench or a spanner next to their name. So we have in the past called our mods the Spanner Squad, but apparently that has other meanings that I was unaware of. So they are our mods. So then let's have a look in that their chat. I am very aware as well that there is a big old delay on YouTube, and apparently it's for something that YouTube does to help the stream look a bit nicer. So I have to give you all a bit of time before I then say, keeper of the questions, who have we got for today's first reading? I love the fact you're all having a chat in the thing. You've been like that for 40 years, Sarah. Been like what, my darling? What have you been like for 40 years? Very good call. Dormouse, your name has been picked out. I'm not sure if that was at random totally or whether that was a birthday gift, but apparently, Dormouse, your name has been chosen for a reading. And I've got your question here. A general reading as you move into a new decade. Yes, because Dormouse turns 60 tomorrow. Well done to Dormouse. I know, right? Birthdays are really strange, aren't they? Well done for not dying yet. Yay! Let's celebrate the fact that you've survived and you are still here. I think birthdays are very strange. I always get mixed feelings on mine. Does anyone else get that? Where their birthday rolls along and you're like, I'm supposed to be really happy, but actually, I know, right? Friends of mine said, oh, it's just because you're turning 30 or 20, because obviously I've only turned 30. I haven't had another big birthday yet. I know, right? I've been reading cards for 30 years. How can I possibly have only been reading? How can I've only just turned 30? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't. Anyway, let's have a look for Dormouse. Oh, I'm not on the screen. Where am I? That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. So we're using the giant deck tonight. This is the Poppy Palin Everyday Enchantment deck. It is a wonderful deck, and this is actually, the colour here is how it actually appears. My hands are a little bit bleached out by the light, but that's all fine. So then we are going to do your reading, Dormouse. Before I do, let me just have a quick look in the chat. Have I missed something? I think I might have missed something in the chat. I don't know what I've missed. You're talking about sleeping or something. My sleep patterns are absolutely all over the place. It is shocking how I sleep. It really is. I sleep like I'm still working in nightclubs, where I'll either sleep all the way through and go to bed early and then sleep all the way through until fairly late in the afternoon, or I'll just stay up. It's one or the other. And now we're trying to get into a bit of a better routine sleep wise, but it's very difficult for us. Right then, here we go. There we go, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-linger, and we're going to bring in the ever lovely, lovely, lovely Wispy. So then, Wispy, if you don't know, by the way, who Wispy is, and when I talk about my dragons, you might not, if you are new here, you might not know. I will put the link. There we go. The link is in the chat down to what my dragons are. They are egregores, thought forms. They are created sentient beings that are programmed to do various things. Wispy, who is the one that tends to join us, is my connection to the Akashic records, and that is Wispy's main purpose. They all have different purposes. So go and enjoy that podcast episode. It's a really good episode, actually. We will be doing more podcast episodes later in the year. It's a little bit sporadic, but that is the nature of all things witchy. Wow, we've had a card jump, and it's an ace. So then, Dormouse, when a card jumps, you know by now, you've been here plenty and plenty and plenty of times. Let me just get this other light on. You know full well that means when a card jumps, it is the a modifying or clarifying card, right? It clarifies the details for the other cards around it. And this card is the Ace of Coins. So it's talking about a brand new venture, a brand new series of things that you are going to be getting up to. So you may well be turning 60, but it is absolutely in no way, shape or form showing that you are going to be retiring, that you are going to be stopping, you are going to be slowing down. If anything, it feels like this new decade is going to be a decade of discovery of new things for you. The Ace of Coins does obviously relate to Pentacles. It's earth energy, so it is a decade of growth. So whatever else is happening around you, Dormouse, there is going to be a big year of perhaps self-discovery, or perhaps a whole new side, a whole new a whole new venture. But anyway, let's see what your 3 cards are going to actually say. Here we go. So this is interesting. This is the clarifying card, don't forget. So this colours and changes and modifies the 3 cards that we lay down. So then where you are, 2 of Blades. Okay, a little bit of disagreements, a little bit of differing opinions, let's put it that way, about what's happening. And oh, there's a lot happening. This is a time of change. You might be thinking, but Lisa, I'm turning 60. I don't need any more change in my life. Well, apparently the cards have got other ideas. Don't forget, as always, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life. But having said all of that, you know, I can only give you the answers that you need, not necessarily the answers that you want, but I will do my best to give you as authentic a reading as I can. So the 2 of Blades, whereabouts you are as you go into this new decade. I think there is perhaps a bit of a disagreement around you at the moment as to what you kind of need to do. Now you are entering your 60s. What does that mean for you? Are you going to slow down? Are you going to, you know, take stock and get that lovely rocking chair polished up and ready for you on the porch? Or is this just another day and another, you know, okay, a time for celebrating and a lovely meal and a drink or 3, but after that, is this just going to be you carrying on, or is this going to be you saying, actually, now I get to go into my life and do the things I really want to do now that I've had this milestone birthday? What is this decade about? It feels like there's a little bit of crossed words. As you know, Blades is otherwise known as swords, and you've got these bills, you've got these people fighting in the background, there's a fly and another fly, spilt orange juice, the dog's barking. This is quite a hecticana card, but it's literally saying, I think there's a lot of, how can I put it, not disagreements, but I think there is a lot of come on, Whisper, give me a word that isn't. I'm just going to say it. I think there's some arguing and a little bit of difference of opinions happening. Let me put it that way. That's polite. Around what happens next. Do you know what I mean? Whether this is your time to go and do the things that you want to do for you, or whether there is still some sort of obligation that hasn't been fulfilled for some reason. That's what I'm getting from this with these bills. The 3 of Coins comes up in the what you need to know. Now, again, coins, with that Ace of Coins coming in here, there is something that you want to do. There is something that you want to do, my darling, and I don't know whether, for whatever reason, somebody else is perhaps not as keen on you doing that. Again, I don't know quite what that... Oh, no, sorry. There we go. I don't know quite what that means, but it definitely does feel as if there is somebody else that is not disagreeing, but perhaps they've got other ideas about what you should be doing. Because the 3 of Coins, the 3s are about growth. 3s are literally about what happens after that couple. So you can see here, we've got these 3 people working together. I mean, there's technically a 4th, but we've got the person on the boat, which is the 3 of Coins. They are working together to open these lock gates. So this is about bringing multiple people along and working together for the benefit of all, kind of thing. 3s are about growth. Coins are about that growth energy as well, that earth elemental energy. So there is definitely this idea with the 3 of Coins that there is something that you are wanting to really embrace and really, I don't know whether it's your sort of witchy alternative spiritual side, or whether it's something on a physical, you know, hobby that you're wanting to turn into something, or something along those lines. But there's very much something that it feels like you're wanting to you're wanting to branch out and you're wanting something to explore and see where it takes you. Does that make sense? That's the vibe I'm getting. Thank you, Whisper. It took me a few seconds to get there. It feels very much, but also it feels that you need support to do this, because the threes aren't about doing it alone. The threes are about doing it with people, okay? And I know that sounds smutty. I don't mean it like that. But the threes are about doing it with people around you, getting that support and moving forward as a joint unit. The tower coming up in the future position, in what's likely to come, this is really interesting. This is really interesting because this is talking about there's going to be a big change happening, right? Some of your assumptions, some of your deeply held beliefs are going to be not threatened, but they're going to be completely turned on their head. The tower is all about this structure that you think is super safe and super grounded. It has really solid foundations and all of this stuff, but actually it's being rocked. In a traditional card, it's a tower that's being hit by lightning and people are throwing themselves to safety. In this deck, we can see it's a tower block and lightning is hitting the top of the tower block, or there's a fire that is caught in one of the flats, one of the apartments. That's the word I was looking for, apartment block. Fire has started in one of the blocks and it's billowing out, and you can see that there are people above and below that are calling out for the fire brigade to come and help them. It's a card of change. It's a card of the table being pulled from under you, and is that crockery? Are your glasses full of wine still going to be stood there, or is it being pulled? Is it such a short, sharp I really can't speak today. Is it such a short, sharp shock that it's going to completely change everything? Do you know what I mean? I'm not really being very clear with that today. Wispy, I need your help for my words to come out as you're giving the images to me. So I think in the next few weeks, right, because this isn't an immediate, in the next few weeks, this is going to be made clear. And it's going to lead you, because we've got this Ace of Coins, it's going to unlock something that is going to be your next task, right? Now, that next task could be completely self-centered, self-empowered, all about you growing as a person, because we've got the 2 coin cards. It could also be something where this next chapter comes about because something that you held dear, something that you currently think is built on the rocks, is actually built on sand, right? And that is going to be threatened. Now, although this sounds really, really quite scary, this tower card, when it appears, can actually be a really good moment of clearing out. Okay, it can signal that actually there is something in your life that is just there, and everybody's taking it for granted, and everybody's saying, oh, it's okay, Dormouse will do it, or Dormouse has got that, or whatever. And it doesn't necessarily need to be that someone else is pulling that rug from under your feet. Someone else is changing your worldview. It's something that you may well come to because of the way these 2 cards are falling with these coins and this growth energy. It's almost saying that, look, whatever's going on right now in the disagreements, this is going to lead you to this, I want to grow, I want to move forward, I want to change. Okay, and whatever that process is, that is what unlocks this tower. So it's almost like there's some self-discovery going on with this card, and that is going to change some long-held beliefs or some long-held parts of your life that have been there for a long time. I don't think there's no cups involved here. There's no, or chalices in this deck. There's no emotional element. We don't have anything to suggest that there's any sort of family or relationship issue going on with this. It feels far more about, very much about your own ideas of self and you growing. I hope that makes sense, Dormouse. I really, really do. Again, it feels very instinctive, if that makes sense. It feels very instinctive that This is about your growth. There's nothing here about from wands, and normally that would be all about that self-growth, that self-esteem, all of that confidence. There's nothing here reflecting that, but every single thing that Wispy is giving me is about you having this moment of clarity that is going to upend some of your world system, and you are going to move forward and grow from this. Don't think of your 60s as being a decade of winding down. This is very much a decade of discovery, and I'm going to leave that with you, Dormas. I hope that helps, my love. I really do. Listen, it's going to be interesting. As long as you continue to grow, right, in life, it doesn't matter how old you get. I loved the fact I used to work in nursing homes, as I've talked about many times on the channel, and I loved having a conversation with one of the old dears who, I mean, there were several characters where I was, but one of them said that she had lived a very full, a very interesting life, and she was the sort of woman in her late years, like I think she was in her 90s, and she was the sort of woman who swore like a trooper up until that point. And she would say things like, oh yeah, but I made so many F-ups in my life. I F'd this up and I F'd that up. But you know what? I lived. I never ever wanted to get to the point where I regretted not doing something. And I just, the life shone out of that woman. And she could tell stories about things that would make your hair curl. She had lived many lives in one, and I thought, you know what, I thought that is the way that I want to go. And that woman and the conversations, I mean, she's long past now, but the conversations that we had absolutely have changed the course of my life over the last 48 years. Over the last 28 years since I knew her. They really have. So yeah, I hope that helps, Dormouse. This is going to be a fun time for you, I am sure of it. And of course, all that's left to say is happy birthday for tomorrow.
Happy birthday!
So yay. Right, so let's have a look in the chat. Oh, hang on. Oh, yes. Good evening to Ellis. Hello, Ellis. Oh, this is interesting. Everyone's got an opinion on what you should or shouldn't do, but they fail to listen. And more importantly, to hear you. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's really, I think that's what the cards are saying. You hit it on the head. You want to explore new things, but you would need Grumpy and the daughter to come with you, not box you in. It does feel, I've got to say, that first card that came up, I was wondering whether Grumpy is the one that there's a fundamental disagreement with. It's not going to break the two of you. It's just, it's almost like Grumpy's a bit scared, put it that way. Oh, you went to a stag do last night. I agree. The thing is, you can put your foot down. I do agree with this in essence, but you've also, like, yes. Now listen, I do agree. First of all, I need to move this camera because this angle is very unflattering. Let me just change that slightly. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry if you're getting a bit seasick. There we go. That should be a bit better. I do agree, though, that you should always do what you want, but you want your loved ones along there for the ride, don't you? And that's the key thing. As Dormouse said, you want Grumpy and daughter to come with, and whether that is spending a year backpacking around Asia, or whether that is, yeah, that's right, or whether it is, that you want to just go and have a day out at the local park, doing, I don't know, playing on the swings. We took the dogs out yesterday, and I discovered I'll have to get Rufus to send me it, and I'll put it up. I'll put it up as a short, because I discovered that where we take the dogs out for a walk, there's actually a children's park, right? Not only are there swings, which I knew about, there's a slide. It's a really slidey slide. I slid down it, nearly slid off the end. literally screamed. It was so fast, and Rufus caught it all on video. And that's at the age of 48 with all my health issues. I was, for a split second, I was 6 years of age going on a really, really scary slide near where I used to live again. Except these days, they've actually got the soft, bouncy stuff on the bottom, whereas when in my day, it was just concrete. And if you scraped your knee, you scraped your knee. Do you know what I mean? There was no health and safety. But anyway, I do agree. But you want your family to come with you, don't you? You want their support. And that's what that 3 is about. That 3 is about growing together and having them be there and support you. Whether you want them on the roller coaster with you or not is a whole other thing. They can stand and watch you do the roller coaster. And, you know, is it the log ride at Disney? I've never been to Disney. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. But, you know, there's that where they go down and everybody gets wet. I think Princess Diana and the boys did it. You know, that one. It's like, you might want to do that. You don't need Grumpy and your daughter to go with you. You're more than happy doing it on your own. But you at least want them there watching while you are giggling, getting soaked. Do you know what I mean? You're known as the plate spinner and yarn that knots us together and steadies the ship. But you do like change. Well, this is it. Sometimes change is a good thing. Change keeps you on your toes. Yes, I agree entirely, Patricia. I absolutely agree. It's not. It's that tower card is not on your birthday, my love. It's not. It's after. You love the thought 60 and more wild and carefree you can be. You can wish you'll tell your younger self to not worry about the small stuff. That's what they say in it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Absolutely. You did 3 laps of the hotel when you eventually got back because you couldn't find your room, if that's any indication of what shape you were in. Were you naked? Because three laps of a hotel naked, or 3 circuits around the pub that I was working in naked, was something a friend of mine did who was very drunk and was supposed to be staying. But yeah. So protective, you understand. It feels like you're bodyguards. The thing is, though, right, you can understand they care deeply for you. So they absolutely want the best for you, my darling. They want you to live to a ripe old age. But you've also, the key part about that is the living part. And sometimes people forget that. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes people are so overprotective, wrapping you up in cotton wool and all this other stuff. If you've got health issues, trust me, I know, I've been there. Sometimes it's like, yeah, but I just want to go and do something wild. And wild for me in years gone by, would have been things I cannot talk about on YouTube without getting the channel struck down, and partying and, you know, having we'll have a gay old time, doing all of that stuff. Whereas having a wild time for me is these days would be having a cream tea. Do you know what I mean? Having a glass of wine with dinner is a wild old time for me these days. But yeah, it is going to be a good time. You settled on a sleep. Well, you slept in a hallway. You found your room in the end and had a nice kip on the bathroom floor. That sounds like a lovely. I bet you fully appreciate how much you paid for that hotel room. Yep. You have grumpy daughter and son-in-law plus boyfriend. Best friend. That's got to be best friend, right? You've got grumpy daughter and a son-in-law, plus your boyfriend and a fantastic 83-year-old auntie that are important to you, but you need them with you as you love them. Yeah, absolutely. You were fully clothed. Good. Because the other way does get you arrested. And saying you're out celebrating someone's birthday is not enough of a reason to be found doing circuits of a pub in the nude. Although it was quite amusing watching the CC footage the next day. Anyway, shall we have another round? I think we should. Shall we have another round? Happy birthday to you, Dormouse. Happy birthday to anybody who has a big birthday this week or a little birthday this week. It doesn't matter. If you've got a birthday this week.
Happy birthday!
Right then. Shall we have another round? I think we should. Let me... Oh, that was the wrong button completely. Go ahead. Pop your question into the... Yeah, you say that now. You say that now. Go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. Don't forget, if you want to guarantee your reading is up next, you can do so by sending it through as a super chat. Either way, you're going to have about 60 seconds before the keeper of the questions selects somebody. So we just had a lovely waterfall. Shall we have Shall we have? I think the tree is silent, isn't it? So shall we go to New York City? New York City. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Exactly. And as I always say, the mods are in blue. Right then, let's have a look. Keeper of the questions, who have we got today? I will have a tipple of choice. I will have a coffee in your honour tomorrow, Dormouse. I might even, we've got to go to the shops tomorrow, so I might even get Rufus to take me to the Costa. I might have a proper Costa. So there we go. Oh, no worries, my darling. There's a reason I have a 5-star rating on Fiverr.com. I do. In fact, I'm such a bad YouTuber or businesswoman. In the comments down below is a link to my Fiverr gig. So that is back open. If you want to book a private reading, you can now do so by going across to Fiverr.com and you can find it over there. Okay. And the details are all down below in the description box. Aquilarius, my darling, you have been chosen. So let's get your question up. Let me... that one. Nope, that's just showing me another picture of me. Right then, here we go, Aquilarius. So we've got, you have been selected. So your question: should I take the promotion in work? Oh, let's have a look for you, my darling. We'll ring the bell and we will bring in Wispy. So Wispy, should Aquilarius take the offer of the promotion at work? Let's have a look. What do we think? What do we think is right for Aquilarius? Again, you do make all your own decisions. Remember that. That's me flipping the card on my finger. So then, my darling, let's have a look for you. God, I'm really bad at shuffling. Somehow we had a card flip there. As I said, I was really bad at shuffling. So we have the star reversed. Ooh, you've got a modifying card, Aquilarius, and it's a major arcana. So you're qualifying. No. Oh, what's it called? My brain's just on a brain fart. My brain's just on a reset. Your clarifying, not qualifying, or modifying card is the star. So what is the star? What is that all about? My hands tonight, I do apologize. The star for me is about wishful thinking, but it's also about asking for help. In this deck specifically, it's about asking and getting assistance when times are a little bit difficult. It's that wishing. Okay, but in this deck, it isn't unfulfilled wishing. It is wishing in the way that it's setting goals. But what this is saying, my darling, this is saying that you need to be realistic, right? The goals that you are setting, don't allow yourself to get carried away with that element of the star, you know, where it's like, oh, I wish that everything's going to work out wonderfully. We are not, unfortunately, in a Disney movie, right? We are not, unfortunately, we don't have fairy godmothers who are going to wave a pink fluffy wand and it's going to make everything absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, that is not something that we can manifest, right? So this card is really talking about keeping your feet on the ground, staying grounded. So if you are looking at the promotion that this is suddenly going to fix everything, or this is suddenly going to repair everything, or it's going to somehow, you know, elevate you to some new realm, be realistic, because actually it's probably just going to mean a darn sight more work for a bit more money. But let's have a look at what the cards say. So then, where you are right now, oh, the Hanged Man, interesting. What you need to know, the 8 of Coins. Oh, my darling, this worries me a little bit. And the Page of Page of Cups. So then, is my camera a little bit off? Hold on, everybody. I think it's a little bit off. where it needs to be. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Let me put those over here instead. Right then, so the Hanged Man. What does the Hangman mean in this context? Well, the Hangman is all about waiting and sacrificing. Okay, so you do have to sacrifice a little bit for this promotion. But look, the Hangman is reversed, and you can see in this case that it's not anybody that's tied by their feet. This Hangman is doing that. I used to like doing this, you know, on the where you get hand railings and things. I used to love doing this, going over them and flipping upside down and all of that. You can tell it was a long time ago when I was a wee kiddie. But yeah, so this Hanged Man or Hanged One is all about waiting, pausing, and doing things at the right time. But this Hangman is saying, be careful you don't wait too long. Okay, be careful you don't wait too long. I think you need to make a decision quickly now, because it feels like, I don't know whether this promotion has been coming your way for a while, Aquilarius, but it feels like time is running out. You need to kind of make a decision, right? And I think that it's almost going to be one of these things where it could be something you've wanted for a while or thought that you wanted for a while, but actually now it is actually here. It's kind of, you're in a bit of two minds. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I really want a promotion. I really want a promotion. Oh, now they're offering me a promotion. Oh, now I've seen what I actually have to do. Oh, I'm not sure. Do you know what I mean? That's the vibe that this card is giving. It is a major arcana card, so it is really saying, look, you need to be careful. Again, with that star card, both of these coming up reversed, I think there is a certain reality check that you need to put in place with this promotion, right? It's something which the star is telling me alone. The star is telling me that I think you've got these almost lofty ideas. Oh, well, if I was manager, I'd be able to do X, Y, Z. Do you know what I mean? I could do this, I could do that. But it's saying keep your feet on the ground. And I would say that, again, with the Hanged Man, it's like, I think you need to... I don't think procrastination is going to be your friend with this one. I think you've got to make a decision, and you've got to make it kind of now. And I think the reason that this card is coming up is because I do think it's something that's been on the back burner for a while. Either it's like you were the next in line, or somebody had said to you, you know, well, you know, when Jeremy leaves, like there'll be a position open and we're considering you for that position whenever Jeremy leaves. And I think now, like, Jeremy handed his notice in 3 months ago and he's leaving next week, and it's like, okay, the boss has said, well, you know, Aquilarius, if you want it, Jeremy's position is there. If not, then it will go to someone else. Now, what you need to know, deadlines. There's a lot more work. The Eight of Coins is all about deadlines, working hard to get those deadlines met. It is good, though. It is a good form of work. This is on in this deck, right? This card doesn't mean the stress that it means in others. Now, you might be wondering, if you're new to my channel, you might be wondering, well, surely the Eight of Coins or the Eight of Pentagrams means the same things in every deck. No, it doesn't. That's why I use different decks in different readings. Sometimes I will pick a certain deck, and Wispy, the Air Dragon, knows this is a big workload, but not something that is going to be with tons and tons and tons of stress. There are other cards that would have that stressful element if this was going to be that type of reading, right? If I needed a card that meant stress, it would be a different card. This is saying that there is a lot more work involved, but it's something you are going to be able to thrive at. Once you get, like, I'm not saying you take the promotion tomorrow morning and come Wednesday, you're like, look at me, I know exactly what I'm doing. That's not realistic, is it? But what I'm saying is, if you do take this, it is something that, yes, the workload is going to increase, but you are going to be able to enjoy it, and you are going to be good at it. This is a positive Eight of Pentacles or Eight of Coins, right? It's a really positive version of the card. In some other decks, it's like people are tearing their hair out. There is alarms, there is, you know, angry stress going on and all sorts. Not so in this card. Again, with that star, it's about keeping your feet on the ground, being able to go into this promotion with your eyes wide open, that this is not going to be an easy task. It's going to take you a while to get on top of everything. And more than that, in the first few days, few weeks, it's going to be scary because you're taking on a different role. Okay, so as long as you're on board with all of that, I think you'll be fine, because we've got the Page of Cups coming in, and this is that, you know, where things are headed, what opportunities are coming, what's the future is looking at. Pages are all about youthful energy, child energy. Now, for some people, that's childishness. Not with me. The Page for me is all about that naive, that innocence, that childlike wonder. And when we come to Cups, Cups is all about your heart, your emotions, and your feelings. So what I would say with this, my darling, is that this is going to fulfill something, right? Whether that is a childhood dream that this promotion hits, because again, we've got this star which is coming back to this wishful thinking idea, whether this is fulfilling that childhood dream, or whether this is giving you something that you've wanted or you felt that you missed from your childhood, that you're able to provide for, I don't know whether you've got children or not, but for your children or grandkids or neighbours' kids or whoever that is in your family. I think that this card is saying that actually it's going to go well. Actually, this promotion does look, this is that element of, yes, it's going to be a lot of work, but this is that I think it's going to unlock something in your heart that is going to bring you that childlike joy. Okay, wait for the camera to focus back on. Come on, camera. There we go. Is it going to bring it? There we go. It is going to unlock that childlike joy from it, and I do think that's a really, really, really good omen. Okay, so if you're asking the position, should you take the promotion at work? I would say, as long as you go in with your eyes wide open, because of this clarifying card, as long as you don't go in expecting to change the work procedure overnight, as long as you don't go in expecting that everything's going to fall at your feet tomorrow, then I would say this has got some really good long-term potential here. I think you're going to find it more enjoyable than you think you are, and I think that it's going to, yes, it is going to be work, but I think it's going to be something that you are going to, it's not going to be overwhelming work. Do you know what I mean? I hope that helps, Aquilarius. If it was me and I was in a position of having a promotion that, and these cards came up for me, I would say, okay, I will take the promotion 100%. And whilst you're having that conversation with the bosses, I would be talking about what onboarding steps there are within the new role, what assistance there might be from whoever's got the role, you know, if Jeremy can stay on for another week to help the handover, things like that. I would be asking those type of questions. But it absolutely feels like, I don't know, but I would say you've been working towards this and you probably deserve this. And actually, because of the Hangman, I think you probably deserved this a while ago. So I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. Thank you ever so much for your question. And I hope you can let us know is that the right way around? Yeah. Let us know in the weeks and days to come how things go. It feels like, as I say, it feels like from the perspective of that Hangman card, it feels like either... I don't think, if I were you, I would go in tomorrow morning, and if you make that decision, either way, I would tell them tomorrow, because that Hangman card is kind of, it feels like it's been hanging around for a little while. But yeah, I hope that helps, and congratulations if you choose to take it. Congratulations on being offered it. You know, just being offered a promotion is absolutely wonderful, particularly in the job market that we're in. So being offered a promotion is obviously a sure sign that they have a lot of faith in you. Even if you don't have faith in yourself to that level, have faith in the people that are offering you that job, right? They can see it in you, even if right at this very moment you can't see that within yourself. If they are offering you that promotion, they can obviously see it in you, because if they couldn't see that in you, they'd be asking someone else. I hope that helps. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Oh, you're meeting your manager tomorrow before you sign the contract. Yay! Onboarding, that's a key word. What onboarding measures are there? No problem, my darling. Oh, I've just jumped way too far in the chat. It will make your mum very happy. She's passed, but she would be proud. That, listen, that if that makes that child element in you smile, then absolutely that card would reflect that. That is really, really, really good. You covered for the manager, enjoyed it, but you're nervous that other staff think major changes and improvements will come, but you know that it's not the case in the nursing job you're in. No, that's it. And the thing is, what you've got to do is to be realistic with people, and especially in things like nursing, all the staff know that, you know, you could change managers 20 times, and the bean counters, the people with the middle management team or whoever, they're the ones that will ensure that nothing really changes. But what you can do is you can bring them a sense of fairness, and you can bring them a sense of, you know, you will genuinely take their concerns above. And if something isn't possible, right? If somebody needs, I don't know, say for example, they need, your staff are telling you and your colleagues are telling you, you need more staff on that ward, right? If that isn't possible because the bean counters refuse it, at least you'll be able to come back and say, look, you know how I feel. You know that I agree that we need more staff. They're saying there isn't the budget for it, but I will continue to push, and I will continue to try and, you know, make some changes. And if I can, you know, twiddle it with an agency member here and there, or if I can do this or that or the other, as long as you are doing your best, and as long as you remember the days and months and weeks and years that you were at their same level, I think most people would appreciate a manager who is honest with them, who comes from the same experience, sort of the same experience as them. So even if you've got to say, unfortunately, we're not going to get new staff, we're not going to get new cleaners, we're not going to get new anything, I don't have the power for that, but I will continue to raise it every chance I get, and I will continue to be the voice of my team in terms of pushing for these, you know, for the advancement for our patients. As long as you're honest about that, I don't think anybody, like, I've been in jobs where, you know, they've promoted from without, and you get a manager in who hasn't got a bloody clue. They don't understand it, and they won't even, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm not taking that to the meeting, I'm not taking that to the board or whoever else, because quite frankly there isn't the money for that, and you know there isn't. Rather than you saying, look, I know they're probably going to say there's not the money for it, but I will raise it, and I will raise it as a concern, and I will raise it in the premise of patient care, or, you know, that I have frazzled staff members who are, you know, on the verge of walking out, and that, you know, I will do my best. As long as you have that mindset, my darling, people would much rather have a manager from within, a promotion from within, than somebody come in from outside, at least in my personal experience. And again, you make all your own decisions about your own life, but I know, decision day is Tuesday. I know we don't know you, okay, and you're just a person on the internet that is on a channel with another random person on the internet, but in all of your interactions that you've had here, I get the vibe that you are somebody who is as authentic as it's possible to be. And I do think that, you know, I do think you'll bring that to your department. So I hope that helps. I really do. I think you'll be a good manager, as long as you remember where you come from. And that's the key thing. All the good managers I've ever met are the ones who, when the proverbial is hitting the fan, they also roll their sleeves up and get in the thick of it if they have to. Do you know what I mean? They're not just the ones that are, you know, the best managers I've ever known in lots of different walks of life are the ones that when things get really tough, they get in at the whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. They get in, they roll up their sleeves and get on with it. The demon manager, you've been there. Oh God, yeah. And I've also had, by the way, there is also the other one. Don't be or try not to be this other manager, right? The type of person who is promoted from within and then instantly forgets everything about how the job was ever done in practice and goes to being a by the book job's worth. I've had that happen as well. You know, somebody that was the key person, knew all the ways to do the to take the shortcuts that get the job done within the time limit that officially shouldn't be done, not legally or anything else, but do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you've got to do this and this in this order, whereas actually there's a much faster way of doing it, that everything is done and everything is you know, still gets the same result but more efficient. I've seen that same manager who did that, when they get promoted, to suddenly be a by the book a-hole. So yeah, just be careful, if that makes sense. Just be careful. Who did bedpans and remember reality? We all need that extra tea break. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you know, I don't even need to say it, Aqualaris. I think you're going to be great. I think you're going to be great. And I think it's good to have some trepidation. It's good to be nervous. I think you're going to be great. Good luck to you, my darling. And yeah, I would say think of us when you're earning all those mega bucks, but it's the NHS, isn't it? There is no money in the NHS, no matter, unless you go super high up and you start being the bean counter's bean counter, then there's money. But anyway, shall we have another round? I think we should. Right then, as always, the next round is open. Do go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it through as a super chat if you want to guarantee your place in the next, guarantee your reading, sorry, during the next round. Don't forget, my Fiverr gigs are now open. Down in the description box, you can find the link to that. And as always, I do just have to remind you that we do have memberships on this here channel. And I'm going to play this, but hold off. If you're interested in a membership to the channel, hold off until Tuesday, because between now and then, which is tomorrow, but tomorrow I'm going to be changing the memberships down so that everybody is at the $2.99 rate. So you can always go ahead and join the membership at the $2.99 rate if that is something that you are wanting to do. And you could do that tomorrow quite happily, but tomorrow officially we'll just have that one tier of membership at $2.99. So then do please go ahead, everybody, and get your questions in if you haven't done already. You've got about 30 seconds to answer them.
Join the Crow Collective. Help to support this channel by becoming a member here on YouTube. From £2.99 per month, you will gain access to members-only perks, live streams, competitions, sneak peeks and more. Just click on Join for more information. Thank you to all our members.
Oh, indeed. Thank you to all our members. We do a members live every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. I am going to schedule in Friday for this week as well, everybody. Friday for this week. So keep with the questions. Who have we got in this next round? I can't speak. I swear down, I can't speak today, she says while speaking an awful lot. Who have we got for this next round? Keeper of the questions. Let me have a wee look. Let me have a look. Who have we got? Oh, hang on. I'm just waiting for it. I am very aware, by the way, that there is a massive gap between me saying something and y'all here. I sound like Country Life Homestead, don't I? Y'all hearing it on the interwebs and it playing out. There is a massive long delay of about, I think it's something like nearly 20 odd seconds. So I will just wait a little bit. There we go. Oh, hang on. What's this? Somebody's asking about a library or a what? Library. I don't know. Oh, hang on. Right. Okay, Sonia, your question is up. Hang on, I'm not on the right doodah. Sonia's question is up. Here we go. Right then, Sonia, question. Hang on. Okay. How does this person perceive you currently? We're not in contact at the moment. For some reason, I read that completely wrong. So then, Sonia, how does this person view you? Where's my light switch? There it is. Hang on. I'm very aware that these lights are flickering. No, sorry. Sorry. Right. Okay. I hope that's not too bright for everybody. When you turn the lights down, they've got a little flicker on them. Now, I don't know whether you're all perceiving that. I know that for some of us with neuro differences, things like that can be incredibly annoying. Cleanse the space and bring in wispy. It can be incredibly annoying. Like I sometimes hear electricity in the wires. Does that make sense? Not everybody does. And equally with that flickering, I'm not sure that anybody else would have picked that up, but I was very aware of it on screen. So hopefully it's okay now. It's brighter. It does stop it flickering. So then wispy. Sonia would like to know, how does this person, the person that Sonia's thinking about, perceive them at the moment? They're not currently in contact. So how does the person that Sonia is asking about perceive Sonia at the moment? They aren't in any contact. Okay, let's have a look, wispy. There we go, we've got your drop. So then, ooh, the 9 of coins reversed, the Knight of coins reversed, and the Moon reversed. Right, okay. Okay, I don't know what the connection is here, Sonia, but all 3 cards are reversed, which means it's possibly not good news. But let's get into it. So coins is all about work, career, finances. It's also about growth. In a lot of other decks it is called the pentacles or pentagrams, but correctly pentacles or discs. In this deck it is coins. Now then, for me, 9s are full and 10s overflow. So the 9 of coins is literally saying that it is full of coin energy, right? It's as high as you can go without it overspilling and overflowing. So coins are, as I say, all about that finance. Now you can see this woman, very nicely turned out. They've got a lovely blouse on, obviously some, you know, design, lovely design furniture, posh people furniture. Posh, is it like Chippendales or something? I know, right? I don't mean the models, because, you know, I mean, you know, posh people furniture. Nicely suited. There's a lovely bay window here onto a lovely garden, lovely hairstyle, makeup done, eyes done, lashes on, bangles on, lovely plate of cheese and grapes, food I can't have, lovely cup of tea with a saucer, open purse with coins and money spilling out. Do you know, this person's got a few pounds, right? 9 of coins. They are quite happily. But it's reversed, my darling, which means it feels like there is a complete lack of growth, right? Coming back to that other meaning for the coins, there's a complete lack of growth. Also, hang on. Oh, also, for some reason, as I'm trying to talk about this card, it feels like I'm being stifled. It feels like I'm being not listened to. So I would imagine this is not a romantic connection. If it was a romantic connection, it's certainly not going to be in the future. So when the 9 of coins is reversed, it's talking about either a complete and utter lack of growth or a financial collapse of some kind, right? So it's saying that either somebody has taken that money or lost a job, or, you know, somebody is no longer benefiting from the connection. How they perceive you, if you're asking if this card is how that person perceives you, right, then it's somebody who is all about the surface level and not underneath. Does that make sense? It's somebody who is very much, look at me, look at this lovely Gucci top I've got and this Hermes handbag, even though they're actually Schneidys from down the market. Do you know what I mean? And it's if you look closely, it's not just a knockoff, it's a cheap knockoff. Do you know what I mean? It feels like there was a saying, all fur coat, no knickers, if that makes sense, which means, you know, somebody who has airs and graces above their station, whilst also, I mean, that phrase sort of suggests somebody who is who is a who is an SW, if that makes sense. And I'm not at all suggesting that you are, and I'm also not at all suggesting that there's anything wrong with that. But that phrase very much goes with that. Do you know what I mean? All fur coat, no knickers. It means somebody who is in it for the money. I don't think they see you in that way, but it's like they see the airs and graces. They see perhaps a falsehood. Perhaps money means more to you. The appearance of money, or the appearance of wealth, the appearance of being okay, the appearance of, it's almost like an Instagram influencer where, you know, they, oh yes, I'm getting my first class seat on the plane, and then you actually discover them in coach. I don't know if it's called coach, but you know what I mean, in economy. And you're like, I thought, oh, there was a mix up with my ticket. Oh no, oh disaster. Oh, woe is me. Do you know what I mean? It's like on their Instagram feed, it's all about designer, this, that, and the other, and actually they're holding it up. And if you look very closely, the tag is still attached because they're actually holding it up in the shop. They haven't bought this item. So that's what it feels like. It feels like there's some falsehood here about presentation, and perhaps they think that you are showing a very curated and affluent version of a life that you perhaps don't lead. What you need to know, we've got the Knight of Coins reversed as well. I think that this is somebody who, I'm wondering, Sonia, if they are jealous of you. I'm wondering if there is a jealousy here, because the Knight of Coins, again with that finance, again with that work element, you can see here these people are laughing. This person is washing their own car, right? Oh my gosh, you're having to wash your own car. How disastrous. Oh no. You've got these people in the background living this carefree life. You've got these two laughing at this person. They are like, why would you laugh at someone washing their car? Is it because they are literally having to do the job themselves? And this is somebody who, when this is reversed, that night energy, again, I think it feeds back into this idea of perhaps even throwing around money, being really surface level with possessions somehow. Does that make sense? Because it's, if this is what you need to know, it's right. Okay, thank you, Wispy. That just clarified it. Wispy just gave me a single image of an ex of mine who, the only reason, oh my god, am I going to get into this? Yeah. Anyway, I used to work in a position where everybody in a group of bars and clubs knew who I was, right? And not just knew who I was, we would always be let in for free. We would queue jump, you know, we were just those people, and we would get people into bars and clubs. We were given free drinks. We were just local celebs, minor sub-lebs, as we used to call us. Yeah, we're not a celebrity, we're a sub-celebrity, right? But we were locally well known and locally, you know, we had those perks. When you work in the nightlife, you work in the pub and the nightclub trade, bar owners, bar managers, entertainment staff, DJs. I used to work as a DJ, and you know, you had that local small time fame, right? So I once had a partner who the only reason that he was with me, was because he thought I could get him entry into all the bars and all the clubs, and that he could sit on the end of the bar and drink for free. That was the only reason. And trust me, that relationship lasted 3.2 nanoseconds. And it was extremely obvious from day one. And by day 3, there was no more day 4, if you get my drift. But this person absolutely thought that by being in a relationship with me, that he would automatically get all of these perks. And it was like, nope, It doesn't work that way. I was always, and most of us were actually the ones, we'd be the first ones to say, you know, we'd turn up on a nightclub and we'd have the door cover, if you want. We'd have the money ready to pay and we'd then get waved through. Or I'd order a drink and I would get, you know, I wouldn't have to pay for it. The staff would just be like, no. And he assumed that he would get that same treatment just because he was on my arm, and it never ever worked that way. And in fact, we were always the ones who would have the note in the hand to pay for the drink, at which point we were told to put that away. Do you know what I mean? It was that sort of vibe. And I'm not saying that he sees you as being, you're not, in this scenario, you're not the boyfriend, you're the DJ, if that makes sense. It's almost like he saw you as a meal ticket. And for whatever reason, because these are reversed, it's like now that isn't happening. Now he's pissed. Or the person is pissed. Right? I'm not sure their gender. It's interesting because in the what's to come, we've got the moon. And the moon is reversed. Now, the moon for me talks about spirituality, but in this deck, it gives a very different vibe. For me, in this deck, it gives this idea of the outsiders, if you like. It gives this idea of the people. How can I put this? It gives the idea of there being not haves and have-nots, but day people and night people. And this idea of, you know, if you are out and about at night, you are not able to access. Oh, this is really vague. Wispy, give me that again. No, I will say, I think I'm going back to this meal ticket idea. Whoever this person is, right? They were more with you because of what they can get. The fact that this is reversed, it isn't that spiritual side that the moon's giving. It's that coldness. It's that element of there is no growth here. There is no warmth here. This is by the cold, by the pale moonlight. Thank you, Wispy. Sometimes Wispy just has to give it. This by the pale moonlight thing, right? Somebody who wants to be with you. This really, are you sure this person didn't used to live in Leeds in the UK and hang around with me when I was DJing? Oh God, no, because that person would be very old now. But anyway, it's giving that vibe of seeing you as a meal ticket, seeing you as somebody who isn't, I'm not going to say isn't a person, but somebody who is with you because of what they can get from the relationship, what perks they are offered, but might not. Now, this is going to sound really cruel. Might be more of a booty call with benefits than somebody they would take home to mother. Do you get what I'm saying with that? And what I would say to you, my darling, is that you are far more than that. Whoever this person is, right, there is a reason you're not in contact. Whether this is a friend, whether this is a relationship, whether this is a family member, they are not here. They are not in your life because you and them have a bond and because you can support each other. They are in your life largely to see what they can get. Now, whether that is the sort of the perks, if you like, the bits on the periphery, or whether that is that they, by being in your life, you know, they'll live in your house and drive your car and, you know, not pay any bills. There's something very transactional about the way they see you, put it that way. Now, the moon, as well as having this for me, it's really weird because when I say night people, I don't mean like, I mean, there are night people and there are day people. Day people are the ones that go to offices and work in their, you know, 9 to 5s and drive, you know, whatever gas guzzling cars. Night people are the ones who work in the nighttime industry, who tend to have very different goals in life, very different ideas about money, very different ideas about everything. You know what I mean? There's like, day people are all about careers and moving forward and buying a house. Night people tend to be those that are more drawn to creative elements, living their things that spark joy in their soul, you know, the dancing and the people in the community around them, rather than the financial 9 to 5 stability of it all. And from that perspective, I think this person and you are just not compatible. They see you as very much a credit card, a booty call with benefits and a credit card. And I wouldn't waste my time by thinking about them in any way, shape or form. Honestly, it's not worth it. I don't think there is no, if this was a relationship, there is no cup card here. There is nothing of any warmth. We've got the cold light of the moon here. There is no bonding here. There is no connectivity. The moon is reversed. If the moon was upright, there would at least be this sort of spiritual connection. Again, night people. I have friends who I rarely see, but who I know when, you know, I see when they have big life events, and they get married or have kids or whatever, and I will randomly send messages on Messenger and Facebook and all these various apps, and I will randomly go, or I'll randomly hear from someone if I announce a big life change on my socials. Do you know what I mean? And it's that thing, there is always that connection here. One person that messages me fairly briefly, but fairly regularly, like 2 or 3 times a year, every year. That person is somebody that I have not seen in person since my friend's funeral, and that would be 13 years ago now. But we regularly, like, she's now got a child who's very grown. I think she's like 12 or something, and is very much, you know, a human being. And we interact, and I'll go, oh my God, I can't believe in my head you are still that, you know, doing that same job and working in that same bar, and hanging out with us. And actually, not only are you a fully grown adult person, they were anyway, but you know what I mean? But like, you're now old and you've got a kid who's like a few years younger than when we were going out to clubs. That's very strange. Does any of that make sense? I feel like I have waffled completely and gone 10 times round the houses. I would not allow this person in my life. There is a reason that you're not in contact at the moment. I would say, look, do not give them the steam off your poops. Does that make sense? I hope that hits, put it that way. I feel like I have completely waffled and talked nonsense with that. Wispy has inundated me with flashes and memories of people in my own life. And when that happens, I struggle to make sense of it in terms of you. But I hope that there's some sort of connection there. Let's have a look. Oh, thank God for that. It resonates 100%. Thank you. Sometimes the only way I can describe what impressions I'm getting is by relaying an incident from my life, because that's what Wispy literally gives me. And it also means I will need to go and message my friend after this and just go, hey up, how's it going, Gina? Not heard from you in the longest time. I hope you is okay. It's sad that he see. Oh, hang on, what is going on now? Why can't I? No, again, it's somebody. It's sad that he see it. So was it a relationship, my darling? Was it a relationship? Because it doesn't materialistic. I think it's more. It's not that you're materialistic. I think it's more that that person is kind of thinks that they can benefit from your experience and from your growth, if that makes sense. Hit the road and don't come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. Oh, my candle was burned out. So yeah, You did that long ago. Well, listen, if it was a relationship, my darling, you are best out of it. He used you, if that makes sense. You have dodged a bullet. I hope that makes sense. Honestly, I think you are well out of that situation, and I have been very careful as to what I've said, if that makes sense, whilst giving you it 100%. There is an awful lot of words I could have said about this person, but they would have been swear words and it would have absolutely got me demonetized, and I'm having to just keep on reminding myself that I've got this right under the camera. So no swearing, Lisa, no swearing. But yeah, this person's a bit of a bugger, put it that way. Right then. The round is open. Please do go ahead and pop your question into the live round, starting with the word question. And one of those will get selected at random by the keeper of the questions. Don't forget, I try and get through as many as I can. This might be the last reading. In fact, this will be the last reading for tonight. If you aren't chosen, you can always pop over to my Fiverr gig and get yourself a reading over there. But if you want to make sure that you are absolutely 100% the last person on tonight's doodah, then you can do so by sending it through as a super chat, and that then will guarantee that you nick that final slot. And yeah, if you do so, then that will get you the last position on tonight's stream. Don't forget, I will be back on Tuesday evening. I always forget which day it is. I'll be back on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time, and we're going to have about 30 seconds to get your questions in. Let's go with the ocean. I like the ocean.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. If you need help, just ask one of our mods.
Yes, indeed. And as always, the mods are the ones... Oh, I'm not even on screen. The mods are the ones that have their name in blue and the spanner next to their names. Right then. So it says the keeper of the question has selected Melinda. Melinda. Question. What are DDJ Virgo... What? DDJ Virgo intentions with you? I take it DDJ is a person. Let me have a look. Let's have a look then. So we will cleanse the cards. Let's bring that one in straight across. There we go. Let's have a look and let's bring in Wispy. Right then, Wispy. Melinda would like to know, what are DDJ's intentions with Melinda? What are DDJ's intentions with Melinda? That's what we want to know. What is DDJ intending to do with Melinda? No, that sounds wrong. That sounds like you're a hostage situation. That's his initials. Okay. What is DDJ wanting to do with Melinda, but in a family friendly way? Please, Wispy. Luckily this isn't some of the decks that are out there with a lot less family friendly, a lot less safe for work type images on. Crystal Rose, I've seen your question. I'm gonna actually pull you a card in a second, Crystal Rose, so don't go anywhere. I'm gonna pull you a card because I saw your question. It's quite intriguing. So Melinda, let me have a look. What are DDJ's intentions towards you? And he's a Virgo. I don't know what that means. I don't do astrology. I can barely keep my brain working with the knowledge I've got it in at the moment. So, the 10 of Wands reversed in what you need to know. Oh gosh. The 6 of Wands upright. No, 10 of Wands reversed for where you are. 6 of Wands for what you need to know. And the Page of Blades for future opportunities. Right, okay. First of all, oh shit. Sorry, I just swore. I did not mean to do that. Why is everything at a funny... Oh, I know why. It's because it needs to be... It's that one I'm trying to shift. There we go. Right, so. First of all, Melinda, where you are now, the Ten of Wands. My gut instinct on this, it doesn't feel great, right? It doesn't feel great. I don't know why, but let's have a look. Ten of Wands. Wands is all about confidence, self-esteem, and all of those things. This Ten of Wands, you can see this person has bitten off more than they could chew, right? This is where I often say, and you've heard me say it in the past, sometimes the Ten of Wands, sometimes the Ten of Wands is overflowing, right? So this is confidence, this is overflowing, this is taking on too much. This being reversed, I think this person Wispy, give me that again, because I've got... Melinda, if this is somebody in a relationship, I would be a little bit careful, just a little bit careful, right? I'm not saying to avoid, but I would be a little bit careful, because this Ten of Wands, for me, the Ten of Wands is somebody very overconfident, that leads to their downfall. And because you're asking about what he intends for you, I don't know that this feels very positive. Okay, it almost feels like he's going to give you enough rope so you can hang yourself. Do you know what I mean? You know that expression? It's giving me this vibe of he will let you speak until you incriminate yourself. Do you know what I mean? You know, sometimes in court dramas, the person, the defendant or whoever, ends up incriminating themselves by what they themselves say. It feels a bit like that. It feels like there is something here where the overconfidence is going to be your undoing, and it's almost like DDJ is wanting that for some reason, almost wanting to teach you a lesson, right? Sorry, I just dropped my blue tack and I don't want it to get into the carpet. Not that the carpet's any good, but anyway. Yeah, so it's almost like he wants you to get your comeuppance, right? And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel like it's supportive. It doesn't feel like it's somebody recognizing that you might have stressed things out or stressed yourself out or taken on too much and wanting to take, to alleviate some of that. It feels like they are almost wanting to add to your stress levels to almost make you break. Do you know what I mean? And that vibe of it absolutely does not feel good. That part of it, the minute that card turned over, I don't know whether you can always go back and watch it, because my stomach absolutely turned over and it was like, oh shiza, this is not a good feeling. Now again, I don't know what this connection is with you. It doesn't feel as if it's somebody who's got your back. In the what you need to know, we've got the Six of Wands. Now this is more supportive and this is more joyful. This is something who it feels like you've got people supporting you in connection to this person. I don't know whether this is, I'm struggling to see what this connection is. I'm hoping it's not a relationship, in all honesty, because if it is a relationship, right, that you are in like a romantic relationship, this person I would just be very wary of, and maybe maybe just kind of back a little bit away from, and maybe go slower into things. That would probably be the vibe, right? It's almost like somebody who would happily gaslight you, and maybe not knowingly, maybe not in a really like controlling, abusive kind of way. Hopefully that gets, YouTube doesn't like that word, but yeah, but not in that kind of way, not in a controlling kind of way, but maybe it's just somebody who doesn't know that they are doing that. Do you know some people just automatically seem to lie about small things, and they make things up, and it's just who they are. It's not necessarily with a great big sort of malevolent plan of action, but they're just people who aren't that reliable. I'm hoping it's that and not the other, but it does feel like in connection to this person, it does feel that you've got a support network somehow. So I don't know whether this is people who are cheering you on, because 6s are about community, 1s is about confidence, and you can see this person is running through the tape after going through the hurdles. Now I find it interesting, this is giving me hurdles, and this is giving me that victory vibe, because what do I always say about the blades or the swords is that it's life's hurdles. So it almost feels like you've got people in your corner, people that are backing you, people that are supporting you, connected with this person, even though the energy from this one isn't the best. But Whisper, you're gonna need to, I'm gonna pull you another card, because this it doesn't feel intentional. Do you know what I mean? It's like my other half had a friend who was constantly lied about everything all the time, and when I would say, but why were you still friends with him, he'd literally just say, well, because everybody knew that he lied. He just couldn't help himself. He just lied all the time, and we all knew not to take him seriously. It's kind of that vibe, I think. Right, Wispy, I'm pulling from the middle, so manifest what you need to manifest. Clarify for me, Wispy, what is this vibe? 7 of coins. What? Oh, okay. Thank you, Wispy. It's not about the card. It's about the card. Right. Hang on. Right. Okay. This is what I was saying, right? This is what I was saying. This isn't about, this is about this particular card in this particular deck. This is Evil Eye. Look how many Evil Eye images that are in this card, right? Look at all these eyes. She's wearing them. This is Evil Eye. Right. Thank you, Wispy. 7 of coins. Coins is all about work, finance, and growth. The 7s are about tough choices. So you've got some tough choices about this, but the reason this card has fallen is because of this Evil Eye element. Do not trust. Do not trust. Beware, beware, beware. Danger, Will Robinson. Right. Thank you, Wispy. Oh, that was interesting. Yeah, because I don't know whether there's a financial ploy involved here, but it almost feels like this person's a scammer, right? It feels like this person's a scammer in some way. Be really, really mindful of that. Be really mindful of that, Melinda. It's almost like this person is in some way not what they're saying they are, right? Again, that backs up that card. It makes sense. This element of the Evil Eye is basically Wispy saying, look, be warned, right? Be warned. Warning signs, warning signs. I love Wispy. Thank you, Wispy. There is something here that doesn't sit right with this person and their intentions. It might not be an outward thing. It might just be something that is like their underlying selfishness and self-centeredness. Does that make sense? It kind of feels like that. It feels like that is the vibe, rather than it being someone who is malevolently out to get you. However, this card does come up. Again, I'm thinking scammer. It does feel as if you've got a support network around you, which I would say to lean on. And again, if you've got friends of this person in your circle, talk to them about them. Talk to them about him. Sorry, because you said it was a he. This is also why it was like all negative energy, because hurdles, blades, swords, right? And you know, I've talked plenty of times in streams about how the sword suit is all about hurdles, challenges, obstacles. This for me is about, I don't know whether there is a child somewhere in the mix. I don't know whether there is, or whether this is that childish selfishness. Like, we can see this person's holding a snail. That looks interesting. But also there's a baby hedgehog, or a hedgehog here. There is a book here. There's all sorts happening, right? Which would suggest something nice and calm and educational. However, it feels a little bit icky for me, and I don't know why. I think it's because I associate blades with so many issues. I think there is an absolute element here, my darling, that it's thank you, Wispy. This is that childishness, right? You know, before when I said there was a page and it was naive rather than childish, this is childish. This is somebody who is acting out to get what he wants, right? And it's almost like, I'm just going to say, these words keep going around my head. Pathological liar, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but it keeps giving me this idea that this person almost doesn't know reality from the lies that they're spilling, right? Be warned. Be warned, be warned, be warned. Whatever this person is in your life as, I would not trust them as far as I could throw them, right? I would not trust them. I used to say as far as I could spit them, and then somebody pointed out that has other meanings that I never thought about. I meant like chew them up and spit them out, not anything else. But yeah, talk to the friends, talk to people in your network that have this person in common. Something's going to come out, something's going to be revealed about it, where it's almost like, oh, well, you know, their ex said this. Ding, that's what Lisa was getting at. If this is a relationship vibe, Melinda, I would say you can do 1,000 times better, 1,000 times more reliable, 1,000 times more kind, considerate, and more in your corner. This person is giving not great vibes. I hope that makes sense, my darling. I really do. My stomach is feeling really uncomfortable with this. I would be very, very careful, right? Be very careful. We haven't got the deck that would give us the red flags, which was the King of Wands. We haven't got that. Was it the King of Wands? I think so. We haven't got that in this, but I would be very careful, my darling. I hope that helps. I'm getting indigestion and I haven't eaten yet. I'm getting, really. Mods, was this the one at the beginning? Can you remember? Was this where I was feeling really stifled in my throat? Because I'm also now feeling really ick. Yeah, this person is going to try and control you, Melinda. This person is absolutely going to try and stifle you, whatever that means. If it's a work connection, beware, right? If it's somebody you work with, if it's a work connection, beware, because that coins card doesn't feel, whatever it was, the 7 of coins doesn't feel like they're the most honest person. If it's a romantic connection, maybe move on. I hope that helps. I'm sorry it wasn't better news. I'm sorry they weren't better cards. Right, Crystal Rose, what was your... Oh, hang on. Crystal Rose has become a member. Thank you, Crystal Rose. That's ever so kind of you. Welcome on board. You are one of the crows. Do I have a crow? I need a crow sound effect, don't I? I used to have a crow that would appear on screen. But I can't do that, my darling. The nearest I can do is stick the Crow Collective logo in the... There we go. That's the nearest I can do, is to stick the Crow Collective logo in. You'll get used to seeing this on the members only live streams. I'm going to be doing one on probably Friday evening as well. I will book it in. But yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. It must be a sign. Did it? Why must it be a sign? Hang on a second. Hang on a second. You keep seeing crows. Do you? You're now part of the Crow Collective, my darling. Absolutely should have been a sign. Yay, yay. Oh, I can't pull that up on screen. Can I pull it up on screen? No, look, look, yay. I tell you what, have I got it? Have I got it? Have I got... Oh, I haven't. On the other channel, we have a clapping emoji, but we'll give you this. Right then, Crystal Rose, what was your question from earlier? I saw that it was something about... Hang on, hang on. Why is this? Why is this? There we go. Oh no, come on. Inch back a little bit. That one. You have a big dilemma for work, right? Big dilemma. Do you do voluntary work or concentrate on building your own spiritual business? You're already qualified in Reiki and you love doing readings. If you have time... Right, if you have time, voluntary work is an amazing thing to do. Right, it's an amazing thing to do. There is many connections and reasons for you doing some voluntary work. There was I think you phrased it differently earlier on. Hang on. It was this other version. Do you choose the library or a museum? Right. It was this that I was thinking of. Assuming that you want to do some voluntary work, right? That isn't going to help. That isn't going to hurt, sorry, your business at all. If anything, as long as you've got the time and you're not taking away time from clients, if you book in, say, I don't know, 2 days a week or 2 afternoons a week or whatever it is that you can manage to volunteer, if you book that time in, it shouldn't affect the way you do your business. You just say you can't take clients on Wednesday afternoon or whatever it is, right? But let's see. I want to see, Wispy. Sorry, I forgot, my friend. I want to see, Wispy, if we've got either or. So I'm literally going to pull you an either or. Okay. Wispy, we want a 1 card. This deck is so illustrative. It has so much symbolism. With 1 single card, we need to know, are we looking at library or museum? Okay. Library or museum. So let's switch that to there. Library or museum, Wispy, with a single card. Because also, don't forget, you'll make connections with staff that might need Reiki, and both those places will be places where you will meet people and you'll be able to chat to people and do all of those lovely things, and talk about what you do for a business. Oh, I run my own Reiki and healing business and blah 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 blah. Very interesting. Right, so Wispy, let's see if we can do it in 1. That's the 8 of Blades. Okay, right. Okay. Let me go back to your to the other question that you asked, because that was a little bit more. Hang on a second, because you need to be very careful, Crystal Rose. This card has come up, right? This card is the burning the candle at both ends. This is lots and lots of stress. Not burning the candle at both ends. Sorry, this is lots and lots of stress. This is lots and lots and lots of... Right, interesting. Wispy. I know I said 1 card. This doesn't tell us whether it's library or museum, but this is a warning card, Crystal Rose. Beware. This is literally going to be saying, make sure you don't outdo your own spoons, okay? Make sure by committing to volunteer that you are not going to be so knackered that you're not able to concentrate on the business side. Right, Wispy, if this is the situation, what's blocking it? The Knight of Cups. Okay, So the blockage that's causing the stress here, the Knight of Cups is telling me you're wanting to do something from the heart. It's a very noble gesture, but this is not thinking things through, Crystal Rose. You need to stop a second and think, do you have the energy, the time to dedicate to volunteering right now? Okay. The Knights act very spur of the moment, right? They act very suddenly and knee-jerk reactions. It's like my ADHD brain. That is what the Knights do. Cups is all about going with the heart, going with the emotions. So it would be a lovely thing to go and do some volunteering. Wouldn't that be lovely? Yes, it would. But if it's causing this underlying stress and it means that you aren't able to give the time that you need to the business, then maybe this isn't the best time. How do we resolve that then, Wispy? How do we resolve it? We go with the Queen of Coins. Okay. What? Nurturing work. Right. Okay. Ah, right. Give me that in a way that I'm going to be able to make sense of it. Nurturing work. That isn't volunteering in hospice care, because that would be the absolute opposite. That would be totally draining. Okay. Right. Crystal Rose, my darling, hang on. You need to build your business first, right? With the best love in the world, you need to build your business first. That is what you need to do, my darling. You need to build your business, grow the business to the point where you're able to then take an afternoon off. Okay, that is what the cards are saying. Look, this might not be the right time. This might be where you end up working flat out on, with all the time and energy and everything else, right? This might not be the moment for you to take on more. Your heart's in exactly the right place with this. It is absolutely, your heart is in the right place. You want to volunteer, you want to do more. There are ways and means of doing more and helping, but right now you need to put that nurturing energy into your business, right? If you're going to give things away, give away a Reiki treatment. Raffle a Reiki treatment off, or not raffle it off, but you know what I mean? Offer that to someone. Offer to maybe go in and do some discounted Reiki sessions within the local library or wherever, if they do things like that. Work on that, nurture the business, maybe, have maybe work on something where you can give back, but you're doing so in a way that is actually going to help support your business. Do you know what I mean? The thing that immediately when this card turned, it was like hospice care, and I was like, no, don't volunteer in a hospice. But maybe you could, one afternoon a week, you could go and offer some support for people in medical need. Do you know what I mean? If there is a care home or a nursing facility near you, speak to the people there and just say, look, I would like to offer this. If your patients or whoever would like to partake, I would like to offer some Reiki, or I would like to offer some whatever type of healing it is that you do, right? Maybe that is what, maybe concentrate on that, because that will stay within the same field but also benefit your business long term, right? That is something to consider, because I think the other way, you're going to get very tied up in doing the other work that is so different that it's not going to allow you those other opportunities. Now, I know that Reiki is a very draining, or can be a very draining and a very emotionally connected thing. I know after doing 2 hours of live streaming doing the tarot, my spoons are gone for the day. I can just about go and prep dinner or make dinner or serve dinner, depending on if Rufus has made it. He's made it tonight. I can go and prep that, finish that off, and then I sit and I'm pretty much dead for the rest of the night, which is why sometimes if I say I'm going to do this straight after the stream, I forget, and it then gets done or it gets forgotten about. So again, that's my apologies, that's my ADHD and fibro. But this is really saying, my darling, this card, look at the joy here. This is a farmer's market. This is a one time a month event, right? Maybe look at that. Use your time, use your energy and your skills. Maybe use that to help. Maybe volunteer that, because that will also help from a business perspective. It will help get your name out there. And you don't know, if you give somebody a free Reiki session in the workplace, give them your business card, right? Say if it's the say for instance, right, you don't help the patients in a nursing home, you help the nurses. You offer them during their lunch hour, you offer to come in, and for 3 hours during all of their lunch hours, you will give them some Reiki or some, whatever type of healing it is that you offer. Say you do that, you leave them all with a business card, and then the next month you might go to another home, or you will get people that will be booking you for in between those sessions. Do you know what I mean? Things like that nurturing, this nurturing energy, because I always say the Queen of Coins for me is that financial nurturing abundance side from the Empress, right? That warmth, nurturing with cash, with that financial, being in a position to do that. It's that. I hope that helps, my darling. I would not at this stage, it doesn't feel at this stage for you to go and volunteer in a separate field if you can. There's no reason why you can't offer that skill to, maybe the workers in the library or wherever. That might be a way of doing it, but the cards are very adamant. This feels very discombobulated. And when I said, is there a way forward? Is there a way, a better place? This is using your skills, my darling, and I hope that helps. So yeah, I hope you do that. Also, now you are a member, you can go back. There is an exclusive members only behind the scenes video that we posted, live stream that we posted earlier today, with a little hint, if that makes sense, a little hint about why things have been a bit chaotic and why I am super tired tonight. So do have a look at that. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you ever so much for coming in. You were a carer for 6 years, so that sounds good. Well, there you are, my darling. There you go. That ties it in, and that is your giving back in a way that is incredibly kind and generous, but will also maybe help your business. I know I need to listen to my own advice. Melinda, you dated him a few years back and he was dishonest with you back then, so you did something out of your character. Recently you called him out on his dishonesty and he said you were wrong and he's a changed person. Is he bollocks? Is he bollocks? No, avoid like the plague. Avoid like the plague. If you don't want to burn out, do library just once a week. Build bit slowly, build your business. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no worries. I hope that helps everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening, everyone. Huge thanks to Crystal Rose for joining the Crow Collective. We are I love our community. I will be going live on Friday evening, everyone. Every one of the members, if you want to come and join. Mods, don't worry about popping in if you've got other things to do on Friday evening. I am sure we will totally manage. I don't want it to be like an extra duty for anyone that feels that you've got to pop in. It will just be a chill stream. I might do some pendulum reading. I might get some oracle cards out. I've still got the dog wisdom oracle cards I haven't even properly gone through, and so I might do that. And also, members, if you want readings on Friday or Sunday, all you need to do is ask, that. But yeah, I might do that on Friday evening as well. So then, with all of that being said, I'm going to say goodnight, everyone. I've got to go and eat dinner because I'm quite hungry, even though my stomach did turn a couple of times on Melinda's reading there. That something really does feel a bit... Oh, I put it this way, Melinda. I think that person 100% is giving me the ick. And we'll leave it there. But anyway, thank you for joining, everyone. If you are part of the replay crew, much love to you. If you can, please put what emoji shall we have in the chat? we'll have the... Give us the thumbs up emoji in the chat. No, not the thumbs up. Give us the moon, the full moon emoji. If you're watching this on replay, put the full moon, you know, the big round moon. Put that emoji in the chat. Thank you. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. Members, I will see you on Friday. Everybody else, no, I will see everybody on Tuesday, won't I? What day is today? Today is Sunday. Computer, what day is it today? Thank you. I will see you all on Tuesday evening. My brain is now frazzled. And I will see the members on Friday, and if not on Sunday. And I'll see you all back on Tuesday or Sunday. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going now. Bye, everyone. Hopefully you have a lovely week, and I will see you again very soon. Stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And as we all know, I'm a witch.
They're witches.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your free...
Yeah, that happened.
They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Because she's a witch.
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch.
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back.